time. Hello, hello. Welcome to my stream again. Got a lot of love on Trovo's side. Thank you so much. I'm at 150 followers on Trovo. I appreciate it. Trying to get to 200 with that one. On Kick, I'm at 193 followers on that one. Almost at 200 for that one. 1,003 followers on Twitch. I appreciate, can't talk, blah. I appreciate that as well. It's been a roller coaster, man. I really don't feel like playing some games today, honestly. I feel like just talking a little bit more what I was talking about last night about fans and whatever else is going on the news. Um, but back to elaborate what I was saying yesterday. The reason why I brought it up is because, like I said, I think people just don't know in general the boundaries about people. It's 2023. Everything's open. You can pretty much talk to anybody on the web or whatever like that. But in general, it's just you still gotta learn your boundaries when it comes to fans and the actual celebrities or what I'm about to show you. Bad fans out there. So let's get started. And rest in peace, Matthew Perry. That crap was crazy, bro. I used to watch Friends when I was a kid. Still do now. And he was my favorite guy. My hearts and well wishes are to the family of him. It's pretty fucked up when you see some of these celebrities you grew up with pass away. I mean, unfortunately in life, that's the way, unfortunately, life is in general. But it's sad. It's just really sad. And the whole story in general. I don't really want to elaborate it on this stream. That'd be kind of just ill will to the people or the family members of him. But I will say I'm deeply sorry from the kids and the wife and the whole family for this tragic situation that happened. And I hope y'all found peace, which it's hard to do these days. Let's see. Do, do, do. Let's see.
Obsessed fans pose a significant threat in today's world, raising concerns about the potential dangers that can stem from their intense fixations. While many fans express their admiration and support in healthy ways, there is a darker side to the fandom that cannot be ignored. The obsessive behavior of certain fans can lead to stalking, harassment, and even violence towards their idols and public figures. The consequences of obsession can be alarming, both for the well-being of the celebrities and for the safety of other fans. So in today's video, we will be exploring the dangerous world of obsessed fans. Welcome back to another video. Before this video starts, make sure to check out my other social medias linked down in the description below. And also go check out earldoesn'texist.com using my link in the description below. But other than that, let's get straight into this video. Pokimane fan. Aman, better known as Pokimane, is a Moroccan and Canadian social media personality, Twitch streamer, and YouTuber. She is best known for her live streams on Twitch, where she broadcasts video game content, most notably League of Legends. The term simp is an internet slang term describing someone who shows excessive sympathy and attention towards another person, typically someone who...
And that's one thing I really condone in general when it comes to female streamers. Obviously guy streamers, they get the latch of a lot of things going on when it comes to fans, disrespect, etc. But for women in general, just because they look cute on screen, everybody thinks they want to be with her, etc. I really feel bad for Pokemon and a lot of these people in general. Not saying they're all bad or in intent to be crazy, but they are crazy in general. I've seen sometimes Pokemon on some of her videos, she has to literally stop her stream and literally tell this dude off to basically shut the hell up or I'm gonna ban you for some of the weirdest conversations that he likes to have with her. It's like, yes, she's a pretty woman. Yes, she's very attractive. We all know that. But she's still a person, okay? I've been a security guard for 20 something years of my life, and I got to see this in full way, especially when I used to work in the woodlands and places like that. That some people, they don't know their boundaries when it comes to a pretty woman. It's like a lust problem. It's like they have not understood like mom and daddy taught you about boundaries and respect. Now if she insinuates it's fine to talk to her like that, that's perfectly fine. But for most of the time in general, it's not good to do that. Don't touch nobody. Don't go around and disrespect them or whatnot. Just say, hey, you look attractive or you look nice. Walk off. If she's not uncomfortable with it, just walk off in general. It's just weird that people don't understand boundaries. It ain't just fans to Twitch streamers. It's people in general. We all have boundaries that we're not supposed to cross. And that's the thing that I just been kind of just in my mind thinking about that. But yeah, because Pokemon, I don't really know her like much in general. I do watch her stream every once in a while, and I enjoy it because she has some pretty interesting stories of her life. Like the time when she was over in another country and she tipped this guy, this waiter that treated her right at the hotel, and then she ran go get more money because the dude was crying, and with some of the money she got, so she went to ATM, she ran back, and then she gave that guy even more of a tip. And he was just saying, hey, my rent was due, everything else, you just helped me out. That's what I like about love. It's why I changed my theme to so much of a heart. It's just, people don't understand how one person in general might have something bad happening in their life, and just a compliment or a tip or money or something like that, it changes their day. Hell, it changes their life. But with Pokemon, I see some of the people on the chat, and I feel sorry for the mods. They got to deal with this crap all the time. And it's like I see them saying like stupid stuff. And the only difference between most streamers, female streamers, and her, she'll actually will pause her stream. She'll go on there, and she'll actually highlight what that person was said so he can feel like a jackass, talk crap, and then the mods will ban him. So it's stupid.
Does not reciprocate the same feelings in pursuit of affection or a sexual relationship. Urban Dictionary defines simp as someone who does way too much for a person they like. Pokemon did not create simps. Sims have been on this earth for many years. And not all Pokemon fans are sims, but she does have a handful of them. From what I talked about in an older video, sims can be very dangerous to themselves and even to the streamer. But in this scenario, a simp was endangering himself. In 2020, It's a Gundam posted a YouTube video criticizing Pokemon simps. In the video, he showed a screenshot where a fan posted a selfie with her, with the caption saying, "I'm kinda short on savings, but I'll definitely get $500 to drop this week, LMAO."
And that's the issue in general. It's like me reviewing other content creators. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But one thing I don't like is it when one content creator is talking shit about another content creator, and there's no reimbursement for each one of them. It makes no sense to me. It's like, you do your thing, I do mine. There's nothing wrong doing news about another person, that's fine. But when you're having this a whole channel about this one streamer, it's kind of obsessive in my opinion. Yes, people are interested in Miskiff, Emaru, Pokemon, etc. But at the same token, that's kind of obsessive in general. It's like when you're a celebrity. When I was growing up, I got to see how the paparazzi used to treat them, like they're these little puppets, they would chase them in the bathroom, chase them wherever they went to, etc. But now it's gotten to the point that Twitch streamers, YouTubers, and stuff like that are getting the same treatment, not in paparazzi, but people are just in general intrigued about them mostly in a good way, but in other words, a bad way, and it's just weird to see when I see this kind of shit.
Oh, hope she sees this and knows I love her and miss her. Then he'll get a reply back from someone else saying, "Only 500? Pathetic. Get your bread up." Then the person who posted the selfie would then reply back saying, "I got evicted because I was 4 months behind rent, so yeah, I don't know. I'll see if I can sleep behind a Starbucks so I can use a free Wi-Fi and donate the rest of my money." And look, I get it. You can do whatever you want with your money, but donating so much money to a rich person that you become homeless is just very sad.
And I've seen that in general. I've seen people that will put all their finances, everything for that fan. And most fans in general, especially the ones that are rich, yes, tip them. Go through, give them money, support them. That's what I was talking about yesterday. There's nothing wrong supporting your streamers, me or anybody else in the world. But there is a way that if you're using all your money, all your time, all your finances for that streamer in general, just for one blink of them saying hi to you or thank you or whatnot, we all have bills to pay. We all have things that we have to do in our lifetime, to survive, rent, light bill, etc. But yes, you can't just sit there and give your whole self to somebody that's on a screen. And that's what I see with obsession of what I'm talking about. Some people are so obsessed they don't have the mind capacity to understand that you're just one of a billion people, especially the top streamers that she talks to. Just like Connor and the other group videos I did yesterday about it, talking about, you need to have your space. You have to understand they can't just all be there to talk to you, only you. It might feel like they're coming to you through the screen, talking to you directly, but that's not what it is. It's just they have to talk to multiple people at the same time. So you're just one number to all the rest of them. Not saying they don't care about you, but you have to know they're not just going to be focused on you. That's it. Unless they whisper to you like on a halfway or maybe when they stop streaming and they talk to you, that's different. But most fans, they think just for them to say hi or something, it's more than what it is. Because I've seen that when I was working in the Woodlands. There was this girl, very cute, big tits, etc. Typical girl. I always treat her different than most men would treat her. They see her as a sex symbol and all this other crap. One day I was over at the Starbucks and her friend, one of my friends was with me, right? One of my guy friends. She walked up in her Starbucks stuff and she's like, "How may I help you?" And hello. We got the order. She walked away, and the guy looked at me and he was like, "She likes me." I'm like, No, she doesn't, dude. She just said, "How are you doing?" And that's it. And then that's that part what I'm talking about. It's like a lust to something else that's not really there in general. And it can take you to the craziest place in the world, like the most foul things in your mind that you'll be thinking about that person for the obsession that you have for them. It's nothing wrong supporting your content creators. It's nothing wrong running around, visiting them when it comes to meet and greets and things like that. But it's another thing to spend all your money, all your finances, of everything to that content creator that you lose your house, you lose your car, you lose your family, and stuff like that. It's not that serious, and people need to just wake up on that.
Pokimane would react to the video and she didn't feel any concern. I mean, why would she? Because she's getting money out of it. She got so mad at It's a Gundam that she would attack him and attack his sponsor, which is a low blow and is frowned upon in the YouTube space. She would of course do an apology video afterwards. Back to the video of Pokimane reacting to It's a Gundam video, she would claim that the comments from the Sims are fake. However, nobody really knows if these comments were real or fake. Even if it was fake, that doesn't mean that these scenarios don't happen because she has received a few $1,000 donations before. And if these comments were real...
Did you hear that? $1,000 from streamers and stuff like that. See, I kind of wish I get in that kind of amount. Not the money part, but just be able to not have to work and just stream every day. Because streaming is my passion. Stream is something that I want to do. Playing games was fun for a while, but it just seems like not many people is watching gameplays anymore. Most people are watching, seeing what's in your head, what's going on during your day, etc. And that's what I see it as in general. But as in Pokemon, pick Pokemon. Pokemon picking on him and vice versa is what I'm talking about. We have to stop this bickering in each one of us, because we have to know like the content creator in general has boundaries, and we have to know that the person that's a fan has boundaries as well. And you can't cross both of them. Like I said last night, you can't do stuff like that. You can't have a bickering match on her chat about etc. and vice versa. She shouldn't be doing it as well.
Real, then the obsessed Pokimane fan looks like a saint compared to the other people that we will be talking about in this video. Drake fan tattoo. In 2011, a woman walked into the Will Rice tattoo shop and asked for the name Drake to be tatted on her forehead. Turns out she was a huge fan of the rapper Drake. The tattoo artist, Kevin Campbell, asked, "Are you sure?" And do you really want to?
I'm sorry. You are the most dumbass person if you want to tattoo somebody's name on their forehead. I understand your shoulder, your neck, your back, etc. for, sentimental reason. But to actually put a big ass forehead of somebody's singer's name Drake, that is obsessive. And that's what I'm talking about. Fans in general, they go way too far when it comes to somebody that they care about or watch on TV. They are celebrities. You are just a regular person to them. They do care about you. They do want the support for what they're gonna do. But at the same token, they're not gonna sit there and see that and everything's fine. But yeah, you can't do shit like that, bro. Like, learn your boundaries. That's why I keep saying those words. Learn your boundaries and stuff like that.
Do this 3 times. And the woman said yes. After the woman left the tattoo shop, the artist would post a photo on Instagram making fun of the tattoo. After the post, Kevin got so much hate saying, why would he do the tattoo in the first place? Well, in his defense, she did say that she really wanted it, and Kevin does so many forehead tattoos, since the shop is located in gang territory. Kevin would also say that when the woman left, she had a smile on her face and was very happy with the tattoo. The tattoo artist also came out saying that he had no idea that the Drake tattoo was meant for Drake the rapper, and he assumed that the Drake tattoo the lady asked for was gang related. And a few months later, in an interview, someone would ask Drake what was his thoughts on the tattoo. Drake did not like the tattoo, but he was nice about it, saying that he would want to meet the fan and ask the story behind it and the why. Drake would also say that he hates the artist who did it, and would even threaten the artist, saying that if he sees them, he's going to mess him up.
And that's one thing I do not like about rappers in general. Why is it this masculine bullshit that they want to do half the time? Fighting somebody is not going to get you nowhere, bro. Drake or any of these rappers. Okay, maybe in the 80s, the 70s, and the 90s, it's fine to run around and fight people and for street cred or whatnot. But in general, it's like, bro, don't fight nobody. This 2023, people don't do that shit no more. It's not condoned on Twitch, not condoned on any of these platforms to show that kind of crap. And that's why I'm so glad that they don't do that anymore. Because there's so many policies right now that Twitch that you can't basically show violence and things like that. I hope Kick and the rest of them will do it too, because obviously Kick's a whole nother atmosphere. But yeah, you can't do that. They are your friend on a screen. They're not there to lab with you in general, or when you go to their concert. It's not like you and them just talking. He's dealing with all the people in the concert of all his fans in general. You have to learn your place. Get a signing, fine. Tattoo them on your arm, that's fine. But on your forehead, that's a little obsessive in my opinion.
Richard Ramirez. Many people are fans of baseball players, YouTubers, and streamers, but some people are fans of serial killers. In 1985, a serial killer named Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker, went on a killing spree causing the death of at least 14 people. His brutal crimes terrified the Los Angeles community as he would break into people's homes and murder them while they slept. However, among this fear, there was a woman named Doreen who seemed unaffected. A magazine editor at the time, Doreen saw Ramirez's mugshot on TV and she felt strangely captivated by something in his eyes. Her fascination with Ramirez grew, leading her to attend his trial and write him numerous letters. Despite facing competition from other women who were also interested in Ramirez, Doreen, a devout Catholic, managed to win his affection by revealing that she was a virgin. Their relationship developed, and they became engaged in 1988, finally sharing their first embrace in 1996, when they got married. This is very odd, and I'll never understand how someone can be in love with a serial killer. Andy Lau. Mostly known in the West for his 2002 film, Infernal Affairs, Hong Kong actor and singer Andy Lau had his own share of unwanted experiences with fans. The obsession of one of them, a 29-year-old Yang Li Wan, cost her father his life. After having a dream about Andy at the age of 17, Yang quit school and turned into a full-time Lau fan for the next 12 years.
And back to the last video about obsession. That's another level of obsession I'm talking about. I can't talk. I can't talk today. Serial killers in general. I don't know what's the infatuation with these girls. They're so obsessed with these people that are in jail, doing that did the most craziest shit in the world. You're crazy, seriously doing that. But I've seen that so many times. Like I said, there's different levels of obsession in this world. There's obsession that you think that they're your friend, actual friend. I think that's stage one. And when we talk on Discord or something, they just say, "Hey, good morning, that is you." There's level two when people put tattoos on their heads and pretty much lose all their money for this person. They don't just give them some money and then use it for rent, etc. They do that. And that's level three, in my opinion, for obsession of a fan. When you have somebody that has murdered, in a video game, of course, has done something horrible to all these people, and yet this person is obsessed with them in general because how they look, how they are, etc. It's just messed up, man. I mean, you can't run around and think that this is actually okay to do that. But there's so many people that are fucked up in the mind of different versions of obsession that it happens too often to none. When it was a bombing over in, I think it was in New York or whatever, not 9/11, forgot what it was, but basically after they got captured, they were getting love letters from all these these teenagers saying, "Hey, we love you," etc. And just because they look good, in my opinion, I think that women in general, they don't really think before they speak when it comes to, or do, but before, I can't talk. I think that women in general, they start getting up, they just worry about the looks of the person and not really understanding what they did or what they are. I'm not saying all, by the way, but I'm saying some of them do. It's like they could be like the biggest asshole in the fucking world, just like guys too, but yet you're infatuated with that person in general. You want the bad boy instead of the good guy kind of situation. But in this kind of experience with the last thing he was talking about, that's exactly the same thing in general. It's like they don't care that he did what he did to all those people, leaving their families in heartbreak. All they want is to bang them and have kids and whatnot. They can care less because why? They're good looking. It's bullshit.
In order to fund his daughter's trip to Lao's concerts, Yang's father, a retired teacher, sold their house and even considered selling his kidney at one point. When Yang finally met Lao in 2007 at a birthday party that had been organized for the fans, taking a photo with Andy wasn't enough. Yang's father threatened to kill himself if Lao refused to meet with his daughter, and tragically it wasn't an empathy threat. He ended up jumping into the sea, which led to his demise. He did this just to make Andy feel guilty, and to make up for it, to host another meet and greet.
And that's what I'm talking about. The suicide thing in a video game. You cannot do that kind of crap in general. When you take your life, you're not just taking your life for yourself, you're taking your life and people that love you, people that cherish you. You're hurting them too. Do not ever do stuff like this. This makes no sense. I hope I don't get banned for talking about those words, because I know Twitch likes to ban you for those certain words. But I'm serious. They don't care about you like that. Most of the celebrities that you see in meet and greets, same thing goes with Twitch streamers, stuff like that. They're not the same way. They don't recuperate what you feel for them, okay? They just see you as a fan. That is it. Because they have all these people in general that they have to deal with all at once, either on chats or in meet and greets or anything like that. So running around trying to show, hey, I love you, jump off something, like, no, that's just stupid to me. Honestly, I think that whole suicide thing in a video game, of course, is stupid. You can't do things like that. It makes no sense, man. Live your life. Support your Twitch streamers, your YouTubers, your Kick people, all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with that. But being obsessed with these people, that's not what they're here for. They have to grow. Just like celebrities, they have to grow. So the money that you donate for them, watch their movies, play their stuff, that's fine. But running around trying to think that they love you like you love them, it's not going to happen. They're not your friend. You're just a fan to them. They have boundaries, you have boundaries.
The incident led to hundreds of similar threats by Andy's fans who said they'd off themselves if he refused to meet them. Andy felt so much guilt over the side that he was forced to seek psychiatric help. I can't believe the father would do that for his daughter. Just by reading the article that I read to you guys, it seems that the father had some type of mental issues. In 2019, Yang, who is now a sales promoter in her hometown, Lanzhou, said if she could rewind her life, she would not repeat what she had done in the past. Miss Yang, who initially fended off accusations that she was responsible for her father's death, now recognizes that she cannot run away from the truth. Trying to make amends since, she turns up at a site beside the Yellow River every year during the Qingming Festival to offer prayers and respect. Ken Dodd. In 2001, Ken Dodd, a British comedian at the age of 73, became the target of a stalker named Ruth Tagg, who was much younger than him. Tagg had been resentfully pursuing Dodd, attending all of his shows, and sitting in the front row. She bombarded him with love letters and explicit photos of herself, expressing a desire to be part of his life. Tagg's fixation on Dodd escalated when she failed to get private time with him after one of his performances. Her behavior turned abusive, and she started sending weird gifts to Dodd's longtime partner Ann Jones, including a perfumed rat. In October of 2001, her obsession reached a dangerous level when she set fire to rags and pushed them through Dodd's letterbox, causing significant damage to his Liverpool home. In 2003, Ruth Tagg admitted to the charges of stalking, arson, and harassment and was detained under the Mental Health Act due to her actions.
And that's what I mean by obsession as well. There's different layers. There's ill will to do harm. There's ones that they'll go to your house and do the most stupidest shit. I've seen, like, good example when the Pelosi, the Senate lady, her house got vandalized and her husband got beat up. It was just like, okay, you may not believe in their beliefs and what they're doing. It's just don't vote for them anymore. Like, I don't understand why people think your opinions matter when it comes to their life. They're politicians. They're Republicans. They just do their job. That's it. They have to do it. That's what we pay them to do. If you don't like what they do, don't go to their house and try to beat up their husbands or stuff like that. It's fucking stupid. People need to grow the hell up in general. It makes no sense.
Eddie Waitkiss. When baseball player Eddie Waitkiss, who played for the Chicago Cubs, was traded to the Philadelphia Phillies after the 1948 season. Prior to the trade, Ruth, who was a 19-year-old, had a strong infatuation with Eddie. She collected newspaper clippings and pictures of him, even setting a place for him at her family's dinner table. She went as far as learning Lithuanian because she discovered he had Lithuanian heritage. However, things took a very dark turn when Eddie moved to the Phillies. Ruth became fixated on murdering him. During a Phillies game in Chicago, she rented a hotel room in the same place where Eddie and his team were staying at.
And that's what I'm talking about. I think that's fifth stage of obsession. When you want to do harm to somebody else or a celebrity that you love. It's like, some people in this world, they don't understand it's more to life than a celebrity. It's like either had mental issues or their life is pretty much shit and they feel like the only thing for them to be happy is to be with this certain person. That's never going to happen. It's like basically a fantasy, because there's plenty of fantasies out there. There's fantasies in our mind. We all dream about these weird things in our head or fixations for something. But there's others that believe in their fantasy. That's what I believe. They go in there. They do the most stupidest shit to the celebrity, etc. It's just fucking stupid. I mean, like I said, there's boundaries that you have to do when it comes to celebrities in general, or Twitch streamers or anybody else. You do not cross that in general. A Twitch streamer is a Twitch streamer, and you are just a chat room or a fan. A celebrity is a celebrity, and you're just a fan to them. That's it. If they personally talk to you, that's different. But if they're doing that, don't do that. And then trying to off yourself out or basically what this person's talking about, threaten to get rid of them, kind of like what happened to Selena and all that. It's like, seriously. And in my other opinion on that, they need more security in general when they get things like that happen. There's been too many celebrities that get hurt because of poor security in general, because there's thousands of people that go to meet and greets and everything else, and we have like one security guard. It's like, no, they need to be treated, safely. And like I said, the fan need to understand there's one word of being obsessed of somebody than just a fan, because a fan is just a fan that runs around and just supports their channels, stuff like that. But there's obsession, and obsession is what we're seeing right now. Different stages of people doing the most stupidest, dumbest shit in the world to prove a point or get attention from that person. They're never going to retort for what you feel like in general. It doesn't make a difference to them. They're going to sit there and live their life. You're just a blink in a pond for them, because they have to. They have to make their channel grow. They have to go through in life and make sure that they're basically their name and their celebrity or celebrity class stays high. Just like a Twitch streamer, Trovo, Kick, etc. They basically do the same thing. They grow their platform out, and then they want a chat, and then they want a group of friends and stuff like that, family members, etc. And yes, they see you as a family because you started from the beginning when you found that channel and you're watching them grow. But as in them being your friend directly, it's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Why is it not working all of a sudden?
She lured him into her room and shot him. But fortunately, Eddie survived. Despite surviving the shooting, the incident had severe consequences for Eddie, as he missed the entire 1949 baseball season due to the attack caused by this crazy honey with a gun, as he described Ruth. John Lennon. Mark David Chapman had a really bad childhood growing up. He felt like an outsider and pathetic, that he even related a lot to the main protagonist from The Catcher in the Rye book, a character who believes that all of his problems...
And that's the thing I'm talking about, obsession. When a celebrity in general, or because that John Lennon story was pretty fucked up in general, and what happened to him with this person, it's like, you need to move on in your life. Seriously. We all have fuck up things in our life. I've had them, you've had them, etc. But you're trying to find something that's meaningful to you. And some of y'all think obsession is the way to go. It's not the way to go in general. It's like you have to move on. Let that past go. You have to go and live your life to the fullest, because life's too short. Not take your life for somebody else that's on a freaking screen, or what's happening right now with that. Because that John Lennon story is pretty fucked up in general. Move on. We all have bad things happen in our life, man. It's nothing you can do to change the past, but you can change the future in your life.
Were caused by adults. Mark always felt disconnected with the world, that he wanted to become famous. But then he decided on the idea, in order to become famous, you have to kill someone famous. Mark had 5 people in mind: Paul McCartney, Jackie Kennedy, Elizabeth Taylor, Ronald Reagan, or John Lennon. Before I get any further, I do want to mention that there were 2 Beatle members in the kill list, which is very strange because Mark was a really big fan of the Beatles. In fact, before he decided to go kill a famous person, he thought one good way of becoming famous was to join the Beatles. As big of a fan he was to the Beatles, he started to dislike John Lennon a lot, and that's because John said that the Beatles were more famous than Jesus. Mark, who is a Christian, was very offended by this, causing hatred to John. So on December 8th, 1980, Mark waited for John outside of his apartment.
And that's crazy. I think that's a 6th level of obsession. The 6th level of obsession is religion. Religion is fine. You believe whatever you want to believe. Christianity, baptism, whatever, okay? But you cannot, and I doubt God would agree. You cannot think that just because he said something like that and they don't believe what you believe, you want to do something like that to somebody. It's stupid. I've seen that so many times. They'll have an interview and one guy says something about God or something about religion in one's perspective. Then you get death threats in a video game on the other side from the fans because they want you to believe what they believe. You believe what you want to believe. I believe what I want to believe. That's it. That's how this works. You don't sit there and force your beliefs on other people. It makes no sense.
Where he would then shoot at John 5 times at his back. What makes this more disturbing is that he would actually meet with John earlier that day, and there's even a photo of Mark getting John's autograph before the assassination. After Mark did it, he would go sit down to read The Catcher in the Rye and waited until he got arrested. Andrew Tate. 35-year-old Wisconsin man, John Poulos, has a Twitter account called PTrain67. He had a wife named Ashley and 3 children. The oldest child battled cancer at the age of 4. Ashley would file for a divorce in 2021, but John transferred all of his money to an offshore trust, leaving the family with no money. The relationship was getting toxic, and before the divorce went through, John would decide to have a double life. Like I said, he has a Twitter account, which he was somewhat active on, and looking through his page, you can see that he was quite a fan of Andrew Tate, since he would comment under his tweets and even retweet Andrew's tweets. There are
And that's one person I don't really know, Andrew Tate in general. I don't know much about him. All I know he's talks about men and women and message and masculinity and etc. But that's one thing I don't understand when it comes to obsession. Because some people, it's like me being a Twitch streamer. Like, I believe what I am doing. You know what I'm saying? That's why I got followers, subscribers, etc. And I'm letting you know that I know that you know that I know that I'm great. That's what he likes to do. It's like it's almost like it's like its own shrine in general. They know how to manipulate people's minds to make them do the most stupidest shit in general. Not for what this conversation is about, but in general. It's like Andrew Tate and so many people like Donald Trump and hell, the Pope and all these people. They know how to manipulate a situation to make them look good. It's pretty fucked up in general, but it's wrong. That's the fan thing I'm talking about. Just because you had a bad child life, just because you had a bad life in general, doesn't mean you could get sucked into these cults and things like that. Because that's what I call it. Like the Trump supporters and all these celebrity supporters in general that will do anything from them. That's a cult, in my opinion. I know in the 80s and the 70s that was a big thing, and Scientology is one good example of that. But in general, yes, that's what I'm talking about. You got to understand that you are a fan. That is it. You can't go running around thinking that they care about you like that. It's not going to happen like that. When they chat, or see your chat on the stream, or they signing or whatever, you are just there to be a fan. That is all. You can't sit there and expect them to reciprocate what you feel for them. It goes back to what I keep saying over and over again. You cannot believe in people that just say things that you want to hear. They're worse than salespeople, in my opinion. Most salespeople do the same exact thing. Back in the days when I was a kid, I used to, that's when, we had actual cable and commercials at night. You would see these little commercials about ShamWow or whatever. And they'll look through the screen. They'll say, hey, buy this. You'll get rich. Or, hey, buy this. You can do whatever. And then you buy it. Then you realize when you got it, it's a piece of shit. You're like, well, what the hell? It's because they know how to manipulate you in general. It's like me being a Twitch streamer. There's been people I see on YouTube or TikTok, an ads that'll pop up, and they'll say, hey, you can get 1 million subscribers if you do this, or you can get 1,000 subscribers if you do that. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. I wouldn't pay for a subscriber if I could, because I'm here for earning my right to be a Twitch streamer, Trovo, or Kick, or YouTube in general. I started from the beginning. I want to work my way up. There is no cutthroat or whatnot, because even if you buy all these subscribers and everything else, they're not actual people. They're just bots in general. But yet the media does that stuff to you. Do this and you'll get 1 million subscribers. Do this on TikTok, you'll get this, etc. It's just bullshit. Bullshit.
even a few instances where John would say similar things to Andrew Tate all over social media. On December 16, 2020, Twitter user Hello I'm Morgan would ask Twitter what was their craziest first dates. And a day after, John would comment under it saying, "Invited a Colombian woman on vacation without meeting her first. Now we're getting married." Which is some very top G stuff. Okay, I'm joking on that part. Under John's tweet would have a reader's added context. Sometimes Twitter would add this to add more context and to debunk misinformation. The reader's added context would say, the user who posted this tweet is now charged with murdering the woman in question, which has to be the craziest added context that I've ever read on Twitter. In 2022,
Let's do some more videos. There's another one. I forgot where I did save it, but I don't remember where it's at. Hope everybody's weekend is going good.
Why is it common for people to feel attached to idols, celebrities, or fictional characters? Even though these interactions are very one-sided, the feelings we have for them may be as strong as if we genuinely knew them. These attachments, marked precisely by how one-sided the interactions are parasocial, and a lot of industries capitalize on this. Before we dive into the details, let's see a few extreme cases from East Asia.
And that's a whole nother level of obsession, you know. I've seen some I've watched some of these videos in general of pop stars in Japan and China and places like that. And they lose their damn mind when it comes to their, their pop stars in general. They will do anything for them, because, being a idol in general, which I find creepy, but hey, that's their nationality. That's what they do. But they will actually have autograph signings and stuff, and they will spray cologne or perfume on their hand, and the person will shake it, and he'll smell it, and he'll just have a fucking field day over it. But there is an obsession with that as well. There's been so many stories in general about pop stars getting murdered because of fans. It's just crazy in this world. Like I said, there's fans, and then there's people that are obsessed with them. It makes no sense to me. It's like, I see some people, like the lady Fran told you about, she's Japanese, and I see some people, they see her as a pop star or a idol, even though technically she isn't one, but they see her as that. I see her as a person. I don't see her as what they see her as. But then again, I'm not Japanese. I'm not saying, obviously, every Japanese is like this, by the way, or Chinese, but I'm saying the group I'm talking about. They are obsessed with this girl. I've seen this one guy talk about her all the time, and any sus or suspicious conversations or sexual content conversations, they'll say things to her. It's like, yes, she's pretty. Yes, she has big tits. But come on, man. She's a person. It's like you got to sit back and realize your obsession is sometimes going to cloud your judgment.
Keep in mind, I'm highlighting some of the most infamous depictions of parasocial relationships, and this isn't representative of what the majority of fans are like. But these are true cautionary tales of when obsession goes too far. China, 2007. A man jumps into the sea, hoping his suicide would guilt Hong Kong actor-singer Andy Lau into meeting his daughter, an obsessed fan. His daughter, Yang Li-jun, was so obsessed with Andy Lau that she had quit school, as she spent all her time thinking about her idol. Her dream was to tell siblings, shaving their sense of support or the feelings they have may never be directly acknowledged, and are okay with that. And that's what we'll be focusing on. But before we dive in, we need to understand a bit more about this phenomenon in general. First, the idea of parasocial or one-sided relationships isn't anything new. It was first coined by Horton and Wall in 1956, and at first it was...
I remember when I was a kid and I was in high school, I had a crush on this one girl. I loved her to death. Her name was Amanda. And I had that obsession in myself in general. I didn't do anything or whatnot, but I had a one-sided relationship with this person. But then ultimately when I realized she had no interest in me like that, I stopped. Now what she's saying is way worse than that. When you in your mind think that y'all two are going to be together, or y'all two are going to basically be partners and married and kids and whatnot. That's a fantasy world. That's what I was saying before. There's fantasy, and then there's non-fantasy in general. There's reality. There's fantasy and there's reality. Fantasy is something in your mind when you have a dream or you think about it, and you see something that's not really real. Reality is what's not true. And some people lose that judgment. Like I said, like Connor said, some people that come up, they love that person, to death, and they'll say one thing that's really really bad, and they realize they said it bad because they didn't think about not what you say is how you say it to people kind of thing, and it's basically obsession of that person. You could be a fan, but obsession for somebody is wrong. And in Japan, I see that all the time with pop stars. You get some in general that they live and breathe for this person. They go to every concert they go to, every pop star concert they go to. They love that person to death. They have pictures of them everywhere. And not like when you were a kid, when you see, you have your Michael Jacksons and all that stuff against the walls. No, it's like billboards of that person. It's an obsession.
Just the idea of parasocial interactions, which lasts for however long the viewing experience was, so there was no such thing as someone living rent-free in your mind. But this concept was then expanded to also include long-term relationships formed between viewers and media figures, which extends past that
She has cute
initial
shoulders,
media
by the way.
exposure, as this was known as parasocial relationships. The most interesting part of this phenomenon for me is perfectly summarized by Derek and others as they state. Although people consciously know that parasocial relationships are not real relationships, in many ways they feel psychologically real and meaningful. So, if these relationships are all one-sided, how do people get attached, and what do they get out of it? There are some theories we can look into to explain why parasocial relationships can be fulfilling, like the uses and gratifications theory. In a nutshell, this theory states that people don't just passively consume media and watch something for the sake of watching something, but rather they seek out media to satisfy psychological needs. For example, wanting to be entertained, wanting to learn something, wanting a sense of social...
That is so true. Like, I have so many computers, and I have laptops and phones, etc. And I got involved in that myself. I wasn't obsessed with that person, but it started feeling like I was putting all my energy for this one person and not taking care of myself. I had a long relationship that didn't work out for 10 years. She cheated on me, and I guess I was trying to find love in wrong ways, because I've had those moments. That's why I keep telling y'all, you have to move on for what you have in general, because it's gonna really get you in your fucking head in general about right or wrong and obsession, like she's talking about. Because I was at home depressed, crying. I mean, she was getting married to the guy that she cheated on me with and had kids. So of course I was trying to find love in a different way. And it was wrong. Wrong in so many ways. Make sure it's on. Wrong in so many ways. And I did go on the websites. I did used to think, what's going on with that person in general. Let me just live my life through their life. So I know what she means by that. But you cannot do that. When I start realizing it's my own life, it's my own thing that I should do for myself, that's when things turned out better. That's when I realized in general that life's too short. And those people you see on the screen that takes pictures with the family and everything else, they have just as much problems as you do. They just know how to hide it the most.
Interaction, or a lot of the times in my case, wanting to procrastinate and ignore something that really needs to be done. At this point, if I'm not stress watching Netflix, I'm doing it wrong. But I do want to draw special attention to one of the common psychological needs that we mentioned earlier, the fact that media is able to fulfill a sense of social interaction. This is pretty important, as if someone is feeling lonely and they don't really have a way to satisfy that need, consuming media is a very low barrier and easy way to fill that need. Something else that is super interesting is to consider our evolutionary instincts. For example, we have a tendency to like those we encounter more frequently and to become attached to people we often see. This helped us bond with our tribe mates back in our caveman days and helped us recognize who was and wasn't a threat. But nowadays, we can see and recognize so many people's faces despite never meeting or interacting.
And that's the crazy part about it too. It's like back in the days, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, you could actually run, you have to go to an actual computer to see it. Now it's on our phones, signs, etc. Some people, they're trying to look for something that they lost, basically. And they'll see those billboards and they'll see that and they'll just live their life through them, not as a fan, but like family member, thinking it's more than what it is. It's not what it is. It's like you have to understand from reality to fantasy. That person doesn't even know you. That person in general is gonna look at you kind of strangely if you walk up to their house and be stupid like that. That's why you see a lot of videos of celebrities catching somebody living in their house or trying to break into them to get an autograph. It's like there's a boundary that you have to take in general.
Acting with any of them in real life. So someone who's watching a TV show may consciously know that these people aren't real, but our evolutionary instincts don't make that distinction. So our feelings of attachment and closeness still form, just as they would for a real person. With the rise of social media as well, the occurrence of parasocial relationships becomes even more evident. If we think about it, back in the day, we only ever saw celebrities in whatever movies they starred in. Press conferences and interviews were where we could catch glimpses of them in more normal settings. But now with platforms like Instagram, you can easily follow somebody and see what they're up to in their daily lives, where they went and what they did without breaking any laws. These constant updates from celebrities.
That is so true in general. Like, there's a double-edged sword when it comes to Twitch and Trovo and all these multimedia things, Facebook in general. It's like, yes, you can go across the world and see how their life's doing over there to make yourself feel better. But there's another obsession you can do. It's the ones that will go on their Instagram and see what they're doing every day and not really take care of themselves. They'll stay in their rooms, they'll play their games, and they'll live their life through that person, through the damn screen. And that's the part I'm talking about. You can't live your life like that. You have to understand in general, there's fans and there's obsession. And obsession is a killer for a lot of people in a video game, of course. You cannot sit there and lay in your bed and watch other people's life go on. There's nothing wrong with looking at it every once in a while, but you have your own life. You have your own thing you can do in general. And I think that's the problem with this whole multimedia thing in general. Like, they pay us or they pay these companies to keep us on our phones more than before. It's why our phones are like computers now. And you can literally just scroll TikTok forever and just watch videos all day. But you gotta go outside and touch some grass every once in a while.
Celebrities and idols also makes their presence a lot more sticky to fans. So parasocial relationships are much more likely to be formed via social media rather than traditional media. Because parasocial relationships often occur between fans and characters or celebrities, it makes East Asia a fascinating place to examine, since many of their big cultural exports like the idol industry or the anime industry is fueled by fandom. And we'll see that as much as parasocial fans exert pressure onto idols, like reacting badly if they date, threatening boycotts and so on, parasocial relationships are also used to escape pressure.
And on a side note, what she's talking about with anime, first thing comes to my mind is WWE stars in general, or wrestlers. There's some people in this world, I'm not going to say names, but there's some people that believe they're that character in general. It's like they've done this for so long to be a certain character on a screen on TV, that they don't have a personal life nor a understanding of keeping your celebrity, situation there. But then when you're in reality, that you're not that person. There's nothing wrong thinking that you're that way, but let it get into your mind, it doesn't work. A lot of wrestlers have a problem with that. There's a YouTube, I think it's on Hulu, called Dark Side of the Ring, and it talks about people that lose everything because they want to become that character. They had a shitty ass personal life, so then they go on these different, they in their mind, I'm talking about, they become that character. And don't get me wrong, they're strong of doing that in general. It's why they're celebrities. And even years later, we watch their WWE or AEW videos constantly because they believe that they're that character. But the problem is with that, when you really go home after you're done wrestling and stuff like that and being that character, what is it next? A lot of football athletes, NBA athletes, etc. have the same issue. It's like they were doing this for so long, so when they retire, they don't know what to do with themselves. They never found something else that makes them happy in general. And that's what doesn't make any sense in general. You got to find something, man. You can't just put your things in one thing. You got to put your things in all.
And all of this reflects really interesting social cultural norms. To start us off, I want to look at China first, the enormous power these fans hold and what these fans get out of their one-way relationships. Often we see fans as people who support their favorite celebrities and play more of a background role. But what if this relationship dynamic changes and fans are the ones who actually can influence celebrities? A term more specific to China when we're talking about parasocial fans are parakin fans. Parakin fans are fans that engage in fantasized kinships with their idols. These fans will often call themselves sister fans, brother fans, mother and father fans to their idol. These terms aren't really seen in the West because I feel like we kind of just skip that step entirely. Like, you guys call yourself mom and dad fans? That's kind of weird. Anyways, I can bark. Notice that all these titles are all related to family, which leans into China's society and culture. For decades, China enforced a one-child policy, and as a result of this, the generation between 1980 and 2015 grew up without siblings. So this kinship they form with idols could provide a sense of fulfillment for this generation who was missing siblings, and be of comfort to aging parents who are your mom and dad fans that might be feeling lonely after their only child grows up and leaves the house. Parakin fans branding themselves as family, as brothers, sisters, moms and dads, also often allows them a sense of entitlement over their idols. As a result, these fans are much more liberal in terms of voicing their opinions of how idols should act and what they should do. When idols are caught in dating rumors or are revealed to be dating, the mature response is to of course be happy for them. But not all fans handle this news well. Regardless of how fans react, it's the idol's life and their choice. So very rarely do we see idols actually breaking off a relationship if a portion of their fans don't agree. However, this was exactly the case for one Chinese celebrity. In early 2019, actor and singer Jeffrey Tang was caught dating actress Gina Jin shortly after their co-appearance on a TV program. The sister fans of Jeffrey believed Gina to be too old for him. She was only 5 years older, and a significant distraction to his career, which they believed was about to take off. These Parakin fans put out a strike online and threatened to leave him. A week later, Jeffrey announced his breakup with Gina on social media. Parakin fans hold a lot of power because they are able to act together as a collective. Often there is a clear division of duties and responsibilities, and Parakin fans get things done. These fans might organize campaigns, aim to get their idols trending online, and even pay for billboards for special events so the idol can get more exposure. For example, Chinese fans put Cai Shukun on the Nasdaq Plaza when he debuted, and this didn't cost the agency anything. The fans completely funded this. Promoting idols in public places isn't just a Chinese fan thing though. It's definitely very common across many Asian fan bases.
Yeah, that's the sad part about it. Something wrong having a little fan group like you see on Facebook and YouTube and stuff like that basically has, a good, a fan, page or whatnot with pictures and just talking about the person. But there's others that spend all their money and their things to do things like this on the billboard. See, my opinion, even though I'm not Japanese, I'm American, I don't understand why they allow these pop stars to be so damn young in general, in my opinion. In America, well, I can't say in America we don't do that. We kind of do that ourselves. Well, Catch Me Outside is some of these people that are underage, or Kylie with Tiger kind of thing, but it's not right to do that. They should have an age limit, 18 and up. Japan, I know, is different when it comes to their rules, their cultures. I understand that. But in general, that what makes the obsession even more. There's so many people in this world that are obsessed with these pop stars in general. And a lot of them are underage at first. And don't get me wrong, that's the culture of Japan. There's nothing wrong with that. But in general, it's kind of creepy to me, honestly.
But imagine how expensive a billboard is and how much collective effort it requires to do something so large scale for an idol. And if we're talking fans coordinating efforts and resources, then I have to bring up the infamous milk wastage incident in 2021. China had an idol debuting reality show called Youth with You, where after months around 120 contestants were whittled down to 20. After the final voting round, the top 9 contestants would debut in an idol group. Viewers could vote up to 3 times a day, but if you wanted additional votes, you had to purchase a specific yogurt product from the main sponsor and scan a unique QR code under the lid of the yogurt to get that extra entry. Evidently, dedicated fan clubs honed in on this extra entry clause, and together 48 million yuan or 7.5 million USD was raised for the top 9 contestants to secure them their final spot. However, these purchases came under fire when videos were posted online of workers pouring yogurt down the drain in a process to farm the QR codes. Consequently, state-run news agency Xinhua criticized the program and the
It's like back in the days when I was a kid, when you're trying to get that certain toy or certain thing out of a cereal box, and you actually would do the same thing. You would buy like thousands of cereals in general just to actually get that certain toy. And it sounded like the same thing here. I think Ballpark, the chewing gum thing, had the same thing. They had certain cards in there that are worth something. I used to buy shitload of them and just go through each one of them and try to find this certain ticket through one of these gums. That's another kind of obsession of getting something that you might not ever get. Because a lot of times, the winning ticket is not even in there. They just kind of like a facade in general, like for the cereal box, to find that certain item that you're trying to get. A lot of times it's like 1 in a million that you're going to find it.
The voting process, stating this is seeking profits and attention through waste and score, showing a lack of respect for labor. Throughout all of these cases, we can see that Paragon fans do a lot for their idols because of how emotionally invested they are in them. We'll now break down some of the biggest reasons why Chinese people get into parasocial relationships and become Paragon fans. Just like how all human behavior is driven by intrinsic and extrinsic motives, the reasons behind how someone becomes a Paragon fan can be split similarly into buckets of being self or idol oriented. Within these two categories, Paragon fan motives are split even further, and this is where we can gain some insight into the why. One big motive for Paragon fans is escapism. This falls under self-oriented motivation, so you do this for yourself, and it describes fans that engage in parasocial relationships to escape from a lacking reality. Another motive, also falling under self-oriented motivation, is identity acquisition. Being part of a fandom can be a huge time commitment and shape a big part of who you are. Paragon fans, as we mentioned, provide incredible support, but it also comes with certain expectations.
And that's the thing I'm talking about. What she just said, that each one of the videos I'm showing you is what I'm talking about. That they don't want to wake up to their own reality of how fucked up their life is. They rather just live in the fantasy world for the rest of your life. Newsflash, people, we all go through stupid shit in our lives in general, but there's reality and there's fantasy. Fantasy is in your head when you're sleeping, etc. But when you're actually in the real world, you have to deal with real consequences of what you're doing. That is so wrong in general when I see things like that in general. It's like they're obsessed with these people to extreme I've never seen before. It's like, come on, man. Like, there's fantasy and there's reality. Because reality in general, reality is you got to get your shit right. Go out there and touch grass. Go out. Stop being antisocial so goddamn much. Hell, just go to the mall. When I was a kid, I used to go to the mall, when I had a car, that is, and I would sit in the middle of a Willowbrook Mall or any kind of mall and just watch people. You'd be surprised at things you see as you just sit there looking at people. It's like your live thing before Twitch and all that, or IRLs in general. And then I met friends at stores and stuff like that.
It's pretty much like the kind you'd expect from family. Now, these sentiments aren't exactly like telling your favorite idol, why don't you go be a doctor instead? But instead they might say, and this is an actual comment by a mom fan in regards to their idol, I expect them to act in more meaningful, deeper movies. When I saw that he was going to take a role in a really shallow and naive movie, I posted so many comments in my group expressing my strong objection as I didn't want to see any self-destruction from him. Later on, I realized a lot of fans shared my...
It's crazy. I think there's one I want to see. Here it is. Don't want to play the whole goddamn video.
With a certain level of fame comes
get
a certain
copyrighted.
level of crazed fans. Now, most of us have a celebrity that we would absolutely lose it if we saw them on the street. But some people just take it a little too far. Here is a list of celebrities who have had scary encounters with fans. Justin Bieber is no stranger to this. Back in 2013, a fan jumped on stage and pushed his dancers out of the way, doing whatever it took to get to the Biebs. Thankfully, the fan was stopped in their tracks by security and escorted off the stage.
And I've seen that lately in general, that these fans on concerts and stuff will just jump on stage, try to hug them and stuff like that. It's like, bro, like you're an idiot doing some shit like that. Like don't see you or do anything like that. It goes from fan to celebrity in general. When you're a fan, you're just a fan. That's all he sees you as. That's all it's gonna be. But celebrities in general are going to see you only as a fan, and you're only a fan. There's only two different things. There's fans in general with their own borders, and there's celebrities with their own borders. That's how that works in general. And you can't sit there to mix one with the other. But going on a stage and trying to hug them or kiss them or something like that, please stop. Don't be throwing things at them as well. Like, that's the new thing I've been seeing when it comes to celebrities. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my fucking life. They need to stop that. And they have more security to stop that. And if that person does some stupid shit like that, they get banned for life. It's crazy.
Taylor Swift and Britney Spears are both victims of their fans ambushing the stage during their performances. I'm sure T Swift has some bad blood with two concert goers who attempted to interrupt her show and steal the spotlight. Neither Taylor nor security was having it. In the case of the Britney fan, he found himself behind bars after he was being uncooperative with police after his removal from the stage. The Britney love is really real out here. Beyonce's fan encounter definitely takes the cake, with a fan in Brazil nearly dragging her across the stage. Yes,
like I said, there's obsession, and then there's people that are, that's obsession. There's being a fan, and then being obsessed being a fan in general, and that's what I'm talking about. You lose your sense of what's right and wrong in general. You basically run through and do the stupidest shit like this. I guarantee that person was not crazy, but he had a lust for that person. He always dreamed to be with her, etc. And that's the shit that you gotta wake the fuck up about. They are celebrities. You are a fan. That is it. That is it. And that's all it's gonna be. You don't try to drag them or put a bag on them or something like that. You have to keep your boundaries, respect your boundaries. That's how this works.
It's as crazy as it sounds. Per usual, security tackled the fan and they were quickly taken away. Although she handled the situation in true Queen Bey fashion. All she said was, "Nice to meet you. Thank you. I love you too." Now listen, singers aren't the only celebrities that have to deal with crazed fans. The Kardashians are loved by many and a little too loved by some. One fan tackled Kendall Jenner in Paris, attempting to hug and kiss her. We were all taught in preschool not to invade people's personal bubbles. Well, this fan was clearly absent that day in preschool. Also, we can't forget about the time her sister, Kylie Jenner, got her wig tugged while leaving a nightclub in LA. Oh, and we also can't forget that time a reporter attempted to approach Kim Ye and was met with screams from Kim as he grabbed her shoulder. The surprise tactic was not working in his favor at all that day.
Do not touch your celebrities like that. It makes no sense when I see shit like that. They're celebrities. They live their own life. Don't go up hugging them or kissing them. Unless they're fine with it, that's fine. But don't run up and do shit like that. Like I said, there's obsession of so many different stages of it. And that's the stage I see. It's like they have their pictures. They have their videos. They have everything on the wall for that certain celebrity in general. And that's when they're trying to like live that fantasy life because their life sucks. Something bad happened to their life. They're talking about the fan in general. And they want to just do something different. They think they're more than what they are. But like I said, there's boundaries. There's boundaries for the celebrity side, and there's boundaries for the fan side. And these situations that you're seeing are more about fans that are very obsessed with that person because they had a bad childhood and etc. And they use these kind of situations to, number one, get their fantasy right because they don't want to wake up to reality, what their real life is. And number two, that they want to get acknowledged for them of a one-sided relationship that's never going to happen.
Shawn Mendes has had a scary encounter as well. In 2014, after opening for Austin Mahone in Texas, a large crowd of fans were gathered behind a gate in an attempt to meet Shawn Mendes for autographs and pictures. In a video taken, Shawn can be seen approaching the gate, but the situation took a turn for the worse. A group of fans somehow made it past the barricade, and all you see is Shawn sprinting away from his entourage and a group of fans running after him. And most recently, Miley Cyrus.
I remember the Justin Bieber thing when it first came out and he was famous or whatnot. I remember when Paris had to shut down like the Paris Square because there were so many celebrity teenagers that was trying to go for this guy. Dude, seriously, it's nothing wrong being a fan, but know your boundaries. Don't walk up to them and run to them and give them hugs. They're not going to acknowledge that kind of way because they don't know you like that. They're worried about their health, their safety, etc. That's how this works in general. I've seen so many situations with the Hannah Montana, like she's about to talk about, that they used to do things like that. They trample them. They're trying to hug them. They're trying to get some kind of acknowledgement for them, and it's not going to happen. It's so weird.
Cyrus. She had a very scary encounter in Spain. She and her husband, Liam Hemsworth, were attempting to leave their hotel when a large mob of fans approached the couple. A fan managed to get way too close to Cyrus and put his arm around her neck, tugged her back, and attempted to kiss her. Miley managed to free herself from the fan's grip. Liam grabbed her and they were able to get into their car. The entire ordeal lasted only about a number of seconds, but Miley was visibly shaken and very upset. I'm Kayla, and for more on this story, go to popcrush.com. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
That's crazy. Let's see. Yep. Do not do this, people. Obsession. Look at that, bro. That's crazy, bro. Do not run on stage and do shit like this. Like I said, the celebrity world in general, that's why I never want to be a celebrity. I mean, if IC9 gets like to that stardom, that's perfectly fine. But do not do shit like this. Do not run on stage, or when you see a celebrity eating some coffee or something on Twitch, do not go up there and hand them shit and try to do that kind of crap, trying to hug them or kiss them. They are not ornaments. They are people. Please, guys. Trying to drag her. Lord help me. I swear the security need to be a little bit more top notch than that. Do not let them run up there and do things like that, because unfortunately they might have a gun or some other situation in general. I'm like, come on, man. Like, do not go running up there trying to give a hug to them and stuff. Like, it's so stupid how fans do that to people. Like I said, there's boundaries that you have to do in general. The girl's trying to hop on top of there. Wow. Like I said, you lose your sense in general when you're doing things like that. It's like a lust that you just can't explain. Your body wants to do the dumbest shit to celebrities. And I blame Hollywood. I blame a lot of culture in general. I mean, wages are shit. Prices are going sky high. Colleges are bad. Things like that. That's why people are trying to find ways out. And that's why they use their phones and multimedia to get out of their own world to do things like that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there are situations like this that these people will lose their fucking mind and do things like this. It's like, you have your own life to live. You got to figure out what you want to do with your life. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Move the fuck on and do what you got to do. Life is too short to be doing shit like this, because eventually you're going to get hurt one day. There was a video of after Chris Rock slap or whatever that happened, Dave Chappelle had a get-together. I think it was Shape Dave Chappelle. But long story short, basically the person came on stage and they took him in the bat and they beat the fuck out of him in the video game. That's how this world is now. Like, the guy got in trouble. Or when I was watching Trash Takes, the world tour that they did, and there was this one crazy black guy that walked on stage, sat on the couch next to them, and you see Joey just looking at him like, what the fuck is your problem? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing here? And then he starts to yell and scream and just runs off. It's like, he might have been having some mental issues in general, but come on, man. You don't go to their business and run in there and say, hey, let's go hang out and whatnot. They don't know you like that. Only thing they know you for is on the screen. That is it. They're not going to give you a relationship that you're not going to have. You have to figure out what you want to do with your life in general to basically have a better life in general. Don't take all your cards into a celebrity's world, because honestly, a lot of celebrities aren't happy like you think. Believe me. Why do you think the divorce rate for celebrities is getting kind of high these days?
Without the fans, it would be nothing without you guys. So who do you want to win Australia's Got Talent? Here are the performances and the details one last time as our fans are being carried off stage for this man to pick our
Damn. Damn, look at that, bro. But yeah, even in the 60s, the 70s, it's always been that way. The boundaries have been crossed, and the celebrity will get either hurt, shot in a video game, or anything like that. Like I said, it's just not right in general. You should not do things like that in general. Make sure my shit's working. You shouldn't do that in general. You shouldn't run on a stage and fuck with them. Same thing goes for Twitch streamers, Trovo, and Kick. You don't go running on the stage on their chat or try to whisper her directly. If they don't want to retort with you, that's because you're overstating their boundaries. Good example. There was a group of friends from my little Asian friend I told you about. She went to New York, and everybody was fine. You know, she was just enjoying all the sights and sounds of New York. But one of the guys was way over happy to see her than the other, because you can see her face start getting very uncomfortable because he kept trying to take pictures with her. And it's like, bro, she's not that kind of friend to you. Like, seriously. Like, you don't do things like that. And I can see how she was not comfortable with him, to eventually she just kept saying, hey, no more pictures with you. No more. Because he was asking her the most stupidest shit. And not saying he's a bad guy or anything, but he just let his emotions take the judgment of what he really is. He was like, hey, I wonder what kind of hotel you're at right now so I can give you a good deal for another one. And he's like, oh, actually, I want to know where you actually live at so I can give you a good deal. And you can see her face just looking at him like, I'm not going to tell you where I fucking live at, you dumb fuck. Like, what are you talking about? And you can see toward the end, she was not talking. She was just smiling. Because Japanese people in general, when they're uncomfortable, they don't really show emotions. They just continue to smile. But you can tell that smile's more get the fuck away from me kind of thing. Like I said, it's that lust kind of thing. If I ever met her in my lifetime, I'm going to treat her the same way I treat her on there. You know, she talks to me all the time on stream. And we have a good relationship as a fan to her being on the screen. That's it. Everybody else, they see her as a pop star, some other stupid shit like that. You have to learn they are not your friend like that. Like me and her are never going to be together. That's how that works. We might have a personal conversation with each other. That's about it. But we're two different worlds in general. She's just being nice. That is it. There's a word of being nice and too overly nice. That's what I've learned. Tackle him. This is crazy, bro. And that's what I have to, re-incinerate with this. I'm a content creator. I do Twitch, Trovo, YouTube, and Kick. I'm a blink of an eye compared to all the streamers that are big in the world. If you listen to what these top streamers talk about, you have to put yourself out there. It takes 5 to 7 years in order to be successful on Twitch and these other companies. I'm doing it a little bit faster because I'm doing different platform, multi-streaming, etc. But it takes time to do that. Some people in this world, they think, hey, my life sucks, I got rent to pay, yada, yada, yada. But this other person has everything. But if you watch them, sometimes money is not for everything. It's not going to make you happy. It really isn't. Some people, if you notice, like YouTubers I used to see on there, they'll be like, I expected YouTube and all used to give me something that I was missing, but it wasn't. So basically, I have to leave and find myself. And that's what I mean. It's not just a fan in general. It's the streamer as well. They think the streaming world that they're going to get something out of it more than what it is. It's really for your channel to grow, to make money, to experience fun with other people on the screen. But personal relationships with them, stuff like that, that's not going to happen. And not only that, some of the fans need to understand it takes years for them to get there. Rob Zombie, all these people did not just wake up in the morning and become famous. It takes time and effort and work. I get tired of seeing so many Twitch streamers in general that will message me and say, hey, I want to get where you're at. Or they'll say, hey, I streamed for about a week and all I got was like some subscribers, so I'm quitting Twitch. It's like, bro, just because you're working, you're actually streaming every day doesn't mean they're going to actually retort with you. Like I said, everybody's different. Everybody, it takes time to get there. You have to have passion for doing this in general, just like I do. I have other characters that I'm playing. They're going to be streaming on Tuesday, other things that I do, because you have to go out and do it. But don't expect yourself to get a golden spoon, because I guarantee most of these celebrities that you think are happy and whatnot. I mean, good example, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You see all the drama they go through all the time? Yes, they have money. They have fame. But look at their relationships. Look at the things that happen to them in that. That gives you a good example about that. It's always not as good as you think on the other side of the coin. Crazy.
How often do you still battle with depression?
Oh, I'm always depressed, all the time.
Do you feel that you're happier right now than when you were broke, or not really?
Sometimes.
I had to stop because I had everything and I was absolutely broken inside.
I so badly want to be Catherine Hudson that I don't even want to look like Katy Perry anymore sometimes.
Okay.
I don't want to be too dark, but I genuinely didn't think I would make it to 17.
You didn't think you'd make it to 17?
No.
From the outside, it looks like celebrities have the perfect life. But in reality, being an A-list celebrity absolutely sucks. Mental breakdowns, addictions, depression, bankruptcy, and sometimes even death. But why? Why is having what everyone else seems to want, money and fame, always seems to lead to disaster? When you're an A-list celebrity that everyone knows, you can pretty much say goodbye to going outside.
When you're in a coffee shop, everyone recognizes you, and it's not really a pleasant interaction typically for the celebrity because...
Yep. It's that old saying, be careful what you wish for because you might get it. I've seen so many people that have everything, money, fame, etc., lose everything. Like this YouTuber, Lacey Green, that I used to watch. She did the same thing. She basically thought what her happiness would be on screen was her happiness in her real life, but realized it's not like that. A lot of people in general, celebrities, don't think that they're just happy. I'm not saying every celebrity's like this. There's some that they're happy for what they have, they're appreciative of what they have, they give back to the community, etc. But there's other celebrities out there that they lose something because they expected the celebrity world to give them something. When you get everything handed to you like that, it's not a blessing. All the cars, all the houses, everything else, you're going to get bored. That's why you have to find other things that make you happy. That's why it goes back to WWE people and people that retire in sports or anything in general, that they're depressed. They don't know what to do with themselves. They just sit there and they're like, what the fuck? I have everything. What am I supposed to do now with my life? And like he said, when you're famous, you can't go outside to go check the mail or go outside and go to KFC to get something to eat. It just doesn't work like that, unfortunately. It's like you lose your individuality in general when you're a celebrity or Twitch streamer, etc. Like Pokemon, she can't go walking around right now and go to a Starbucks or something because everybody's gonna know who she is and they're gonna run up to her and want to get her autograph and want to get her Twitch streams and support themselves or promote themselves in her stream. It's like, that's what I'm talking about. It's not always best as you think it is.
Because all they see is all these people bothering them for a photo. And it's not like these people genuinely want to take the time to get to know them. And we all know when we see a celebrity, we want to run up to them to get the photo. And so if all you're experiencing as a celebrity is like all these people just want to take something from you, which is they just want to take the photo, they just want to sometimes get your number or whatever it might be, it's not a pleasant experience of dealing with human beings.
This is Arvid Ali, by the way. He's the former president of Jordan Belfort's companies, yes, the real Wolf of Wall Street, and he's the advisor that celebrities, pro athletes, politicians, and the ultra-rich go to when they want to grow their net worth. So he's been very up close and personal with A-list celebrities. At first, all this attention will seem exciting. You're gonna feel validated. All these random people want me. But after a while, it starts to wear you down. You can't escape it. Everywhere you go, everyone knows you and wants something from you. Every little thing you do is being scrutinized and videotaped. From the way you eat food to the way you walk, to the time you spilled food on your shirt. You're always on edge. You always have to make sure you're on your best behavior. You're not allowed to be in a bad mood.
Robert Pattinson explained what that's like in an interview with Premiere Magazine a couple years ago, and it does not sound great. He said that when he's in Los Angeles, he has about 40 seconds from the moment he arrives somewhere before somebody asks for his autograph.
And you can bet that every errand will turn into a Photoshop with strangers. To your fans, you're more like an object than an actual human being. Basic respect just goes out the door.
One time he had heart palpitations while on stage and had to be rushed to the hospital. As he's being carried in on a gurney, his nurse asks him to autograph his electrocardiogram sheet.
And then there's the paparazzi. The bottom feeders of the celebrity world, whose job it is to trigger you.
You can't see the cars. They got out of the way! I can't see! There are cars there, motherfucker! Take it down. No.
Can you just move away from my children, please?
Yeah, I'm not doing your children.
Do you mind?
Better keep your hands away from me.
I wasn't even...
So what's the solution? You literally just don't step foot outside. You spend your days trapped inside your home alone.
So naturally they end up just staying at home all day. Most of them, they're sitting on social media, watching videos, watching Netflix, playing video games.
Think about that. Humans were not meant to be locked inside alone in one location all day every day. So naturally, as a celebrity, you're gonna get depressed and anxious.
90% of the time they're just sitting at home all day, and for anybody, it doesn't really matter who you are, it's very easy to become not only depressed and have anxiety, but just fundamentally your sense of belonging really sort of disappears. You really feel quite lonely, and you feel as though the only thing that people care about when it comes to you is being able to take a photo with you so that they can brag to their friends.
But Jake, that may be the case, but come on. Even though A-list celebrities have to stay inside all day, they've got to be hanging out with all the coolest friends, right? Wrong. Stay dangerous, subscribe for more, and this is why celebrities are always depressed. Since we're on the subject of famous people, do you know what Winston Churchill, Leonardo da Vinci, and Thomas Jefferson all have in common? They all use standing desks. Why? Because sitting down is actually one of the worst things ever for you. I work from home, and I find that when I'm sitting down too much, it cuts out the circulation in my legs. You get that aggressive arch in your lower back, your shoulders fold forward, giving you an unattractive posture. Sitting down is just terrible for you, which is why I've been using standing desks for over 6 years now. And I've tried a lot of brands, but when I got my hands on FlexiSpot's E7, I fell in love. The desktop has pre-drilled holes unlike other brands so you don't need to drill. The next thing I noticed is that unlike other brands that have cheap plastic physical buttons, FlexiSpot has this nice touchpad that is super quick and responsive. But my favorite part is that the motors are fast. Most standing desks move really slow, which is really annoying when you're adjusting the height all the time like I do. This has been one of my favorite investments in my health, and if you want to pick one up, today is the best day to get it because FlexiSpot is having a Labor Day sale with up to 50% off its products. So click the link below to get one now. Thanks to FlexiSpot for sponsoring this video. When you're at the top, you naturally can't trust anyone anymore, so say goodbye to making any new friends.
You have all these people around me just kind of hanging on, wanting stuff from me, knowing that like I was living this lifestyle that they also wanted to live.
But what about all their old childhood friends, you ask? Well, those that get to the top were usually the weird ones growing up, so they probably...
Yeah, that's so true in general. It's like, when you, let's just say you win the lottery, and I know you heard stories about this, of somebody getting murdered or their family, like calling them out of nowhere, saying that, hey, I was there for you when you didn't have it and stuff like that. It's like, no. When you win the lottery, it's more hell than fun. Yes, you don't have to work anymore, etc. But you're going to get family members trying to bother you. You can't just go outside your door anymore because they're going to sit there and try to ask for money from you. Same thing goes for this situation.
Probably didn't have many friends. Those that get to the top also had to be pretty neurotic and obsessive to get there. They had to grow a lot as a person. So even if they did have any old friends, you can bet that they probably outgrew them.
They have like a friend here or there, that some sort. It's usually something related, family or family friend that they've known. But in terms of like friends, where you hang out with your friends, I would say like probably 99% of them have zero actual friends that they hang out with regularly.
But come on, the male celebrities have got to be banging all the hottest fangirls, right? Well, it's complicated.
You have to think about it from their perspective.
Joker game,
like,
how's your day going, man? How's your day?
As a male celebrity,
just watching celebrity stuff.
There's a significant risk that they're going to
hope you had a good weekend.
Picture with you. They're going to try to use it against you somehow, and they want you ideally to become, their romantic partner. So they'll do whatever. Oftentimes, they'll do whatever it takes to try to cause problems so that you can become a romantic partner of theirs.
But what about the exclusive celebrity parties, you ask? The ones with all those hot Instagram models. Another thing that's typically associated with celebrities is like they get to go to all these exclusive influencer celebrity parties, and from my understanding, you've been to some of them.
I've been to quite a lot of them, and it's probably the saddest parties I've ever been to. It looks really glamorous. It's amazing from the outside. The houses are just unbelievable, and the line, and they have like thousands of models and stuff, and so it's a very dramatic situation. But inside the party, if you think about it, okay, so let's say you have like 2,000 Instagram models and you have like 50 male, top celebrities. It sounds like something crazy is going on, but practically inside the party, what you have is a bunch of Instagram models who are worried to be photographed doing anything, wrong, basically. And you definitely have all those guys who are very worried to be photographed doing anything wrong. And so everyone's just standing around doing nothing. And it's like almost intolerable to me because everyone's just sitting and standing by themselves. These like unbelievably famous people are just standing around. They're not doing anything. Maybe they're just slightly mingling. And then I'm like the only person who's just basically, really trying to pump up the environment and dancing by myself to get people excited. But I stopped going for good.
And that's one thing you have to understand. You are going to have issues in life like everybody. But if you slip and fall, or you run around and let's just say you get in an accident, it's going to be on the news. It's going to be on everything. So you can't have fun. You really can't drink around with everybody else. Because look what happened to Britney Spears and some people that drink or do drugs or whatnot and on the stream. And then how TMZ is the first one to come on there and talk shit about them in general. That's what I'm talking about. Being a celebrity or being a Twitch streamer, a high Twitch streamer, is not as fun and glamorous as you think. Because you gotta watch everybody, your friends, your family, and even yourself in general. Because you make a mistake, you're gonna be on the news. How many times you look on Google and it'll say, hey, Pokemon did this, or hey, such and such did this, and it's on the headline news. Just because celebrities in general is a different genre than a Twitch streamer that's top Twitch streamer, it's pretty much the same now. So anything you do wrong, they're going to come in and they're going to actually talk about you in general.
Good reason it's not a fun thing to do. I do think that there are some more wild parties that you hear about when it comes to some of the tech billionaire guys, but in terms of actual celebrities, it's very rare. But yeah, that's as much as I can go into it right now.
So when you become an A-list celebrity, the only time you're ever going to be leaving your house is to go to work.
The only time they tend to leave their house, I would say, is if they have to. So for certain musicians, artists, they have to go on tour, which if you guys have ever really seen their videos of going on tour, it's an incredibly difficult experience where they can barely sleep. They have to go to multiple locations within 24 hours, and it's for many months nonstop. It's absolutely not pleasant.
Hell, most pop stars that I know, they don't have a social life in general. Rolex plug, how you doing today? But yeah, they live their life in apartments and houses and whatnot. It's almost like it's a tomb there because they can't go out. They can't just go take a run. They can't go to Starbucks. They can't do anything like that. They're just stuck at home because when they leave, they have to deal with paparazzi. They have to deal with their health and the well-being, etc. Like I said, it's not as glamorous as you think for being a celebrity.
Wasn't at all for anyone who has to go through that.
Despite the controversies, Bieber launched his Purpose World Tour in 2017, 150 concerts across 40 countries in 16 months. But what fans saw, a visibly exhausted pop star on stage. Bieber abruptly cancels the final 14 shows, posting on Instagram, "Me taking this time right now is me saying I want to be sustainable. I want my career to be sustainable, but I also want my mind, heart, and soul to be sustainable."
But come on, think about all the money, Jake. Cillian Murphy just got paid $10 million for Oppenheimer alone.
Where you from?
That movie sucked, by the way. I will take tens of millions of dollars if it means I just have to stay home and have no friends. Well, think again. Most people think that money and fame go hand in hand, but that's far from the truth. In fact, most celebrities quickly end up broke. Think about it, they get one payday and then it's gone.
Most of the time, their income streams are very short-lived, so that maybe they have a movie that does well or they have one album, but it's a very stressful situation because if you've just suddenly made a large sum of income in one short time frame, what happens after that short time frame? Now you're like sitting around and you don't have new income coming in. Oftentimes they become very financially stressed. I've never found a celebrity who's not extremely stressed about their income, even the ones that are multi-billionaires or whatever.
But it's not just the unpredictable paydays. It's that in between the unpredictable paydays comes a lot of unexpected expenses.
A celebrity will make like $10 million in 1 year, but then the next year, their income could go to like literally zero. Is that correct?
And it's not just zero, it's actually quite in the negative because, maybe they make the 10 million and then during that time their basic expenses go up. So even if, let's imagine you're not trying to live any sort of lavish lifestyle, very commonly you'll want to take care of your closest family members, like your parents or your siblings or some of your close friends, and then your basic minimum expenditure each month, even if you're not living lavishly at all. And oftentimes you'll find with a lot of celebrities they really don't, but their expenses, and even whether it's on the paying lawyers, paying their accountants, paying their investors, whatever it might be.
There's a Netflix video, TV show that came out called Money, and basically talks about NBA players in general that, excuse me, the NBA players in general, how they become broke so fucking fast. And it's similar to this. You have all these finances you have to do. A 9-to-5 job, you kind of have a certain, amount of money you have to spend every day to basically survive. But when you're a celebrity in general, it's like double or triple what you have to pay because your bills are just bigger. That's it. When I used to work in the Woodlands, some of the people that would tell me is, I'm just as broke as you are, but my bills are bigger than yours. That's the only difference.
Their basic expenses goes up so much during those times when they do make money that the second they stop making money, they're dramatically in the negative.
Britney Spears paid $17,000 per month just to transport her safely from place to place. Johnny Depp spends $150,000 per month on security for his children, and he pays another $300,000 to pay for his 40 plus other staff members. He has multiple $1 million in debts. And then there's the lawsuits. Ah yes, when you're well known and people think you have money, the pathetic maggots are gonna come, trying to sue you for every stupid little reason they can think of. And even if they have more than enough money to cover all of this, they never feel financially secure.
Even the ones that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars or billions of dollars, practically speaking, because they usually didn't grow up like, ultra rich, they're always thinking about, what's their actual income. It's not this glamorous situation. I've never found a celebrity who's not extremely stressed about their income, even the ones that are multi-billionaires or whatever. If you're in their shoes, it's very hard to break from that habit of stressing about your income. And that applies to everyone, not just celebrities. I've never found someone, no matter how much money that they have, that genuinely feels like they're financially comfortable and safe. And that might just be, sort of a Western United States thing. That's another unfortunate reality. They're not living some sort of lifestyle where they're really happy and they feel like they're super rich and famous. It's more like, I'm stressed out about my finances and I can't trust anybody, and so what do? Functionally, the only answer is I'll just sit here at home alone.
So how do celebrities cope with all this solitude, all this pressure? Drugs. Usually a lot of drugs.
There was a time where I was sipping lean, I was popping pills, I was doing Molly, shrooms, everything, and it was just an escape for me.
The reality of situations is you can't, as a world, expect to break people down constantly and not expect them to want some type of escape. I don't have a mom I can call. I don't have a father I can call. I don't have my, like my aunt, who was the last thing that I had, is gone.
When you're a celebrity, you can get access to whatever substances you want, which leads to really tragic outcomes.
We're going to turn now to a major loss in the music world tonight. The gifted singer Amy Winehouse found dead in her London home. She was just 27. And so many people blogging and tweeting throughout the day today about an almost eerie coincidence. So many young music stars lost, and so many lost.
The actor Heath Ledger was found dead today in an apartment here in New York City.
Like I said, that's one thing I don't want if I ever become famous in my Twitch streaming in general. I don't want to be stuck in my house because I'm still going to do what I fucking do. I don't give a damn what people say. That's how my mind says. I don't care what stage of money I make in streaming, etc. But some people, like I said, they expected it to be more than what it was. It's like when you have a goal for something and you want to get to it. We all have goals. But when you make that goal, you have to do another goal, and then another goal, and another goal in general. But the same token, you got to realize, if you make these goals, especially with money and fame, what's the consequences when you do that? Because when you make that kind of money, that's when things go wrong. Like Michael Jackson, good example. That whole story, all the things that he allegedly did, and you saw what happened to Never Never Land, and you saw what happened to him. Same thing goes with Prince. Man, being famous is not all cracked up to be in general. Now, for me, I have nothing. I don't even have a car, for God's sakes, trying to get money for that. But I'll appreciate it if I do get famous or if I do make money in streaming and stuff like that, because I've already made some kind of income already. But I'm talking about when they make that ridiculous amount of money, like thousands of dollars a day kind of money. I don't know how to cherish that. Some people, I'm not saying all, they get like a silver spoon or golden spoon because of their name or their father or whatnot. But the same token, it comes with responsibilities of doing things like that, you know? I mean, good example. What was that? Oh.
He was just 28 years old. The Australian-born actor came to huge prominence after his powerful performance in the film Brokeback Mountain.
6:30, they loaded the body of Michael Jackson onto that helicopter, and in just a couple of minutes, they're making their final approach now to County USC Medical Center.
In the skies over Los Angeles, news crews track the helicopter carrying Michael Jackson's body. In death, the king of pop, just as much a figure of fascination as he was in life.
And here's the other irony, is that this fame is not gonna last forever. And when it's over, things usually get worse, not better. For the ones that make it out alive, fame is not gonna last forever. One day you will turn into a has-been. For some, they stay relevant for a super long time. For others, their fame is short-lived.
The other big thing is most people who are super famous, they don't stay in the spotlight for that long. So everyone might know them for many decades later, but like your time in your prime is kind of limited.
And when it's all over, even though the fame might have been miserable, they tied their entire identity around it. It validated them. They tied their entire self-worth around it. So what?
You see what I'm saying about that? Self-worth. You are this kind of person in general. And the self-worth of you is not your money, it's not your fame, it's not your celebrityism, it's you. That's what I believe. Because some people in this world, they think that when they become that celebrity, that's all they're known for. It's like, no, there's other things you can do in general to become successful, to do things with yourself. Kardashian is a good example. They have multiple clothing lines. They have multiple of a lot of different things in general. There's a reason why the Kardashians are still relevant and still successful. Don't get me wrong, they're annoying for some of the antics they do, but there's a reason why they're still successful. There's a reason why they do what they do, because they know it ain't just a sex tape or anything like that. It's more about redoing yourself every day, doing different clothing lines, makeup lines, stuff like that. That's how that works when it comes to being a celebrity. You gotta find things to make you happy. Like, good example, Shaq and Michael Jordan. Mainly Shaq. And Magic Johnson too. Takes his money and goes and gives back to the community in general. Opens up the Magic Johnson Theater. Shaq has multiple restaurants that come out. So his income is going to go. He found something or an itch that makes him be successful in general. That's what I mean by what I'm saying. For a celebrity, you got to find more than just one thing. You have to do multiple things. Like, good example, when I started with Twitch a while back, last year, I wanted to be affiliate. I wanted to be affiliate on Twitch, etc. But also, the same token, I had content creators tell me, like, look, yes, being affiliate is fine and partner is fine, but you got to put yourself out there to other things, not just gaming, not just this, not just that. There's other things, other genres you want to do, because eventually, like the gaming world, is kind of just going stagnant now. I barely get any views when I play games anymore. It's more the aftermath of it. But as in talking to you guys and doing this is why I switched from that to this, because there's other things you can do to make money and make yourself feel better, because I want to be on everything. I want to be on TikTok, Twitch, everything in general. IC9 is not going anywhere, and I want him to be as big as he can be in general. So that's why I restream in all these different platforms. If I'm not live streaming, I'm rerunning streaming. I have a ill will or a goodwill to or passion to do this, and that's what you have to understand. Most celebrities, singers in general, Twitch streamers, don't expect the fame and what to do after it's gone. or when it fizzes out. They just go 100% one way, but not go the other way. They need to watch Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, and some of these celebrities that actually did more off the court than on the court. Same thing when it comes to celebrities.
When they do become a has-been, they become even more depressed.
What does a 32-year-old retiree who's worth $100 million spend their days?
Miserable.
Really? You were miserable?
Yeah, because, like any athlete, right? From the ages of 6, 7 years old, all we knew was one thing: hoop. Hoop school, right? Hoop summer, hoop play. What do we know? We haven't had a regular life. No matter how much money you have, if you don't have it, that's why when you hear someone, they'll be like, yeah, my parents still work.
Usually they go searching for the same rush they once had. Some of them find healthy outlets, but many don't.
Let me answer why do I DJ. From 13 to 40, 3 times a week for an hour and a half, I would get adrenaline from people yelling and screaming. Good yelling, bad yelling, cheering, booing, it's just a part of me. When I stopped playing, I didn't have that. I get doses of it. Like I go in the rest, like I go in Nick and Sam's and I get a little clap, but that's only 30 seconds. Like, where's the rest? So I went to a concert one time and there's about 500,000 people that went to Tomorrowland in Atlanta. And that feeling came back. And I've been DJing since high school, since college. And I was like, I think I can do this because the concept of the DJ and the athlete should be the same. This is my concept. When a person pays money to see you perform, give them a good show.
Okay. Being a celebrity is not all it's cracked out to be. I see that now, Jake. So I'll just become a billionaire instead. I'll have all the money in the world with none of the fame. There. Well, not so fast. Money without the fame. It sounds like a dream come true, but in reality, billionaires all deal with their own set of insecurities that gnaw at their soul.
You have a situation where this person is extremely rich, let's say, at least on paper or whatever it might be, and then they see all these random other dudes, especially on the internet, who are really famous, who aren't nearly as rich, and so then they're super jealous and annoyed at all these not sort of fake rich guys out there who get all the fame and the attention, and so you have all these sort of billionaires who are typically sad that no one knows who they are. It's not like you can walk around the street if you're not a famous billionaire. It's not like you can walk around the street and people bow down to you as if they know who you are, and they wish they could get some respect from people because they're some sort of a big time silent success.
Think about it. What if this guy walked past you on the streets? Would you recognize him? Of course not. He looks like another generic old dude. Are you gonna run up to him and say how much of a big fan you are of him while he's out on a date with a girl he's trying to impress? No. But you wanna know who this man is? That's Amancio Ortega, the man behind Zara with a net worth of $90 billion. And here's the thing, even if these billionaires wanted to get famous, they literally can't.
It's a big negative for them to...
Damn, $90 billion. That's fucking crazy, man. Like I said, what Shaq talks about, when you work a 9 to 5, it's like, good example, me being a guard for 20-something years, I see people in these companies, that I worked for at the time. They retire, and maybe 3 months later, they pass away because their body's so used to 9 to 5. Their body's used to that adrenaline rush to go to work every day. But when you have money, you just stay home all day. And that's one thing that's a no-no. That's why if you ever do make money, you should go out jogging or do something in general. Allergies are killing me. Lord help me. You should actually do more to yourself to be happy. Go to the Y, go to the mall, do something. I know we're all in this multimedia crap to watch your favorite streamers, etc. That's perfectly fine. But in general, there's more things in life than that. Because when you're not working like that anymore, your body is used to moving around doing things like that. And then when it's not happening, that adrenaline rush, depression hits, drugs, alcohol, suicide, etc. That's what I'm talking about. You have to be careful for what you do with yourself in general if you make that kind of money. Because most people don't understand the fame that you have is just temporary in general. Now in Twitch, etc., it's a different thing. Twitch, if you're a top celebrity in general, like Miskiff and Emaru and all these people, their fame just gonna just grow. But also you could see, like I showed you Emaru's video in general, there's a lot of other problems you gotta deal with. Fans and creepy dudes and shit like that. So people that have a goal to be there and then they make it, they don't realize there's more to it than that. So be prepared.
To be well known for many different reasons. Oftentimes that has to do with how they actually became a billionaire, but definitely, you know, if they become well-known billionaire, then they're just going to get sued all day, every day by random people. It's very common for them to have to spend tens of millions of dollars, you know, just protecting themselves from all these frivolous lawsuits, and it's just not a safe thing for most billionaires. So practically speaking, like, the odds that you're going to want to be well known as a billionaire is very low, but then at the same time, it's this weird irony where you wish everybody knew you and respected you, and so then you treat everyone kind of poorly, for lack of a better term, because you wish they respected you oftentimes, but you know they don't. So
nope.
So that's what it's like to deal with billionaires, to deal with just famous people. It has much more to do with like sort of the COVID loneliness, and you almost kind of just feel sad for them, and then they're stressed out because they're worried about their income.
And that's the problem I see with celebrities and Twitch streamers. My mama told me a long time ago when I was growing up, you don't have to, you can't walk in and get respect. You have to earn respect. Earn respect from your peers, earn respect from people on the streets. That's how that works. When I go to a job as a security guard, people respect me. They might find me annoying. They might think I talk too much like I'm doing now, but they respect me because they know I do my job and I give them respect back. It goes both ways. You can't expect one person to get respect if you haven't given it to them. Some celebrities, they're way on these fucking high horses and they think they shit don't stink, and it annoys the hell out of me. You're a person just like everybody else, no matter what your title is or what you do. And that goes back to what I'm meaning about a Twitch streamer to a fan in general. Some Twitch streamers think that they're supposed to be get their ass kissed all the fucking time, and that's not how it works. And same thing with the fans. The fans think because they spend all this money to see, you know, for your channel to grow, they should get more than what they get. Like I said, it's two sides of a coin when it comes to that.
The billionaires, this other thing. The one big overlap is both of them are extremely worried about their income all the time. But the type of misery is a little bit different. The celebrity is more like a loneliness misery, and the billionaires, it's more like a yearning for respect, and so it's not particularly pleasant dealing with them, at least from my experiences. Yeah, obviously there are exceptions, you know, for anyone watching this, you know, still work with on the billionaire side, but yeah, generally speaking, this is the case.
So if extreme wealth sucks, if extreme fame sucks, what doesn't suck? Is there a way to achieve the money and fame without making your life miserable? Well, as it turns out, there is a happy medium you can shoot for.
I think it's great to be narrowly famous within a very specific niche. For example, like if you are a YouTuber, or if you are even a singer, or whatever it might be, if you have an audience, and it's not even ideally it's not an insanely large audience, like 10,000 people love you, so to speak, online or wherever. Those are the people that really have the best situation, where they just get to deal with their true fans, and they don't really interact with them in person all that much, but like their online interactions are nice, and then in real life they get to just experience real life whenever they want to. And then if they really, really want to, they can just create some sort of fan specific experience once a year and have that as a very fun thing to do or something like that. But they get to have the best of both worlds, in my opinion, which is like they get to have a normal real life and not deal with any of the problems, and at the same time they know that there's thousands of people out there who do really love them and their content. And
well, from my perspective in general, Keanu Reeves is a good example in that he takes the regular train. He's a regular guy. He does that on purpose. He doesn't let the fame of himself judge his life in general. That's why he's so successful now. A lot of these old school ones have a mindset that they're going to be normal regardless. They're going to go do 9-to-5 things, go to stores, etc. They don't let their fame get them in their fucking head. That's what I'm talking about when it comes to being a streamer in general. Streaming, celebrity things is one thing, but streaming is another. Some people that are YouTubers, like Boogie and some of these people, they expected it to be more than what it was. They're just your fans. They're not like your family when it comes to actual family. Come over your house for the turkey dinner or whatnot. Vice versa. They're not they're not friends with you as well, or family members as well, when it comes to the fans' perspective. And when you get those two mixed up, it's why things happen the way they do. You got to understand, you're not their actual family. Not blood related, nor love related. It's more that Twitch, Trovo, and all these companies brought y'all all together to do something in a good community. That's it. That's all it is. If you have a personal life, a problem in your life in general, or let's just say, bad things happen in your life, in your real life, those problems are going to boil up. It's like people that hold in their emotions all the time, and then one person says one thing and they shout out and go crazy. That's what I'm talking about. We all have demons we have to deal with every day, 24/7. It makes no difference if you're famous or not famous. We lay in our pillow, we go to bed. We see things, people whispering in our ears all the time about how we're worthless, etc. We all deal with this. No matter if you're rich or you're poor. The difference is, though, when you're rich, you can't trust anybody. You can't trust your own family. You can't trust your own fans. Like he said, you can't go outside just to go cut the yard or go to the store, because people are going to come to you. People that are your actual friends, you can't trust them because they might have ill will to either sue you, kill you in a video game, or whatnot. That's what you have to understand when you get to that level of fandom.
And there's no real downside. So I think that's a nice happy medium. But you never know. Like if you're just good at becoming famous, then you're probably just gonna keep getting more famous. I would say that there are two routes that I found that work. You really do find some sort of work where you genuinely enjoy the work regardless of the income. But it is still, something that's a profession, meaning you really can make an income from it. I've generally found that, like, almost for most professions, if you really do like it, it is very doable to at least, get into six figures in income. Let's even say you love doing video editing. You can work for one person as a video editor, or you can, multiply yourself and work for a few people as a video editor. So there's always a way to increase your income over time, regardless of what profession you really like. Same thing with software engineers, same things with any profession, really. You can scale yourself ideally to get to a point where you can get six figures. That's one route. The other route, I would say, is where if you really do just care about money, if you can get to a point where your focus is on having predictable, consistent income, but you don't have to work that much, that's kind of the best route. Oftentimes that might be that you create some sort of business, and eventually you hire some people to.
And that's the same thing I want to do if I ever become famous like that when it comes to Twitch streaming and stuff. I want to own my own business. I want to own my own security business. That's basically what I want to do. I've been doing security for 20-something years of my life. I've seen all the shitty, crazy things that they do on their side, and I want to do it for myself. I have too much experience in general in order to, and in my head, that I can be successful. And that's what I want to do. I want to invest into something. That's one thing. Like Scottie Pippen compared to Michael Jordan and Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman was broke. Scottie Pippen is broke. Now they're making money now, but I'm talking about them when they left. Michael Jordan was smart. He got through Nike. He reinvested his stuff in different restaurants. He reinvested in different things. That's what you should do. Just because you have all that money in your hands does not mean you should do things like that in general. That's how I feel in general. Like, you shouldn't reinvest in things. Make your own company or real estate or whatever. Don't just sit there and just go through all your fucking money in general and spend it all and wonder why you're depressed. That's how I feel.
Take over the work that you're doing, but you just scale it to a point where it makes, however much money is a lot of money. Practically speaking, if you are really focused on just money, the better thing to do is maybe get to seven figures and reduce your workload so that you can enjoy the seven figures.
And the reason why Arvid was able to come to this conclusion is because he literally had to explore all these different avenues himself.
So how'd you realize all of this? Like, because you're like super knowledgeable about the celebrity world and the billionaire world and this world of like scaling up your income. So how'd you come to this conclusion?
I was mostly obsessed since from a very young age to just figure out how I can retire early, because I myself was actually depressed since the age of 5. So my obsession was like, okay, I hate school, I never want to work. First went into Silicon Valley.
And it goes back to Lindsay Lohan in general and that whole scenario. That's a hell of a sad story, what happened to her, on Disney and stuff like that. It's just, when you're a kid or a kid of a celebrity dad or mom, that's what makes it 10 times even harder to do things like that. It's like you have to make a name for yourself over saturating from your parents, because people are just going to see you as just that. And you saw what happened to Lindsay Lohan: drugs, alcohol, sex tapes, etc., etc. It's like, that's what I mean by you have to keep your core in yourself about what life is in general that makes you happy. That is it. You can't sit there and run around and think that this streaming world is going to give you something that it's not. Just like being a fan is not the same thing as well. It's only for one part of your life, but you still got to go out there and touch grass, people. You still got to go out there and touch grass.
Valley, and then I was like, oh, this is cool. All these young people are getting rich here. I can get rich as a young person. And for me, it ended up being I created a consulting firm in Silicon Valley where I served as a consultant to around 50 to 55 super fast growing startups. 6 of them ended up becoming worth well over $1 billion. And I helped a lot of those companies out at the early stages. And then after doing the consulting firm, I then got into the sort of Hollywood celebrity world just by accident. But it worked out for me because it fulfilled a lot of my requirements. I was like, okay, this is great. I can get even richer being in this world of celebrities, and I get like these celebrity name attachments to make my parents happy with me. So it ended up working out well because there aren't that many people with the Silicon Valley background that went into the Hollywood space. So I had a unique advantage in going in there and helping out a lot of celebrities using all the knowledge that I got from seeing so many Silicon Valley companies do so well, and realize exactly what they did right, what they did wrong, and be able to bring that into the Hollywood celebrity business space. And mostly celebrities, because they make so much money, they have a lot of different businesses that they either create or are involved in as an investor, and so it was an easy transition actually. And then from there I ended up sort of thinking like, okay, this is cool, what else am I missing? Because at that point I was just like, I kind of want to just see what other parts of the world or aspects of the world that I'm missing, and the rest to me was with both politics and with billionaires. So then I became an advisor to those groups of people more recently, and then after having experienced that, then I fully kind of came full circle where I was like, okay, now that I've seen all that I've ever wanted to see, or actually way more than I ever wanted to or needed to see, what do I like doing? And personally,
that's one thing I like about this guy. He's just realizing what things make him happy regardless, because that's the whole goal in life, in my opinion. It's more about what makes you happy from day to day. Because once you start making that kind of money, it's not like you're doing a 9-to-5 job. You get to have all this experience in the world to do things that make you happy. That's what I'm talking about, that. Because in general, life's too short. You have to figure out what makes you happy in general. And that's one thing I just wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed my video in general. And I hope you like and subscribe to all my channels. It looked like Trovo's growing quite fast. I like that. And that's about it with my channel. I don't know what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. I'll try to stream before I go to work. Because I really do want to talk more than just play games all fucking day and stuff. But anyways, you have a good rest of your day. Please subscribe to my channel, ice_T9, on Twitch, Trovo, YouTube, and Kick. I'm at 451 on Trovo, looks like. I'm on 197, I think, on Kick. I have 1,003 on Twitch. And I'm trying to go at least to 100. I think 98. I'm trying to go to at least 100 on YouTube. But anyways, have a good rest of your day. Take care. Bye. Oh yeah, forgot to tell you, I will be playing this over and over again pretty much all day, pretty much every day. So if you want to just leave a comment, etc., I'm perfectly fine with that. But anyways, ice_T9. I play these games. Well, game ain't really it's a game, but I do these chats pretty much every day, and then I restream it just so everybody can see it. So please like and subscribe. Leave it in the background. Play the ads, etc. Take care. I love you. Bye.